Oh, there it goes. Everybody watch out and look up. It's Keep Up with Still Vinsane and Osamalo. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the program. I'm here with my comrades and I'm here with my cohorts. We got Osamalo. We've got Harry, Pokemon Stoner. We've got Neil Francisco. He is a engineer of the show. He also is El Tribo for his DJ trance music. Go check him out on SoundCloud. Then we also have John of all trades. We have Thundercat John with a K, like Harry said. He's on TTV. He's on Twitch. Go check him out on that. You need to check us out on Twitch. You need to check us out on Patreon. We also have our very first guest on season 3. Her name is Maria Badazian. We will introduce her more later after we get our shout outs, after we get our what's happening. Let's get into some motherfucking shout outs.
It's time for some motherfucking shout outs.
All right. Let's go. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Handle it, brother. Go ahead, motherfucker.
So we got, this is one of my close and personal friends. He's also my barber. He hooks me up. Now, this is Kevin. He's also, he actually started selling cars now. So if you need a Honda, a BMW, even Maseratis, he sells them all. You can find him on Instagram. It's Tri-State Luxury, just the way it sounds, TRI State Luxury, and just like that. And you can find him and, shout him out. You whether you have bad credit or anything, you can go over there. He finds you a good car. As long as you're getting a paycheck, you can go ahead and drive. So,
what about a haircut? Do you need to get a credit check for the haircut? And does he gross ride the whip while he's cutting your hair? Whatever. Anyway, that gets out to our next shout out. Here's Maria right now. She does graphic design. She's a Parsons alum. She's a very talented person. You can catch her on Fiverr. You can catch her on Medium. You can catch her on all types of medium. She's multi-talented. Please introduce yourself, Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria Badazian. I'm from Brooklyn, born and bred. Like Vinson said, I'm a graphic designer. I also write, I illustrate, and you can find me on Instagram, Medium. That's it. Just find me on those two. Don't do it.
That's right. And we'll get you her real handles at the very end of the show when we get into the meaty part of our interview that we did together. It was awesome. You get to see her real writing skills, her interview skills. Can't wait to see that. So
fuck you. What the fuck happened?
All right, let's get into the Beirut bombing. Actually, I'm not that informed on this. It's a very shame, and especially with Lebanon. Lebanon does not get the respect that it deserves. When Charlie Hebdo was happening, any type of terrorist attack that happens in Europe, it gets very amplified, it gets very magnified. But for some reason, when it happens in the Middle East, especially somewhere like Lebanon, that was attacked in did the attacking in the 7-Day War, and it lost. So let's not get facts, even though, I'm passionate about one side. But that was a lost war. Let's not get into that. But anyway, we're not going to get into the Palestine-Israel thing. That's what we're into. But in Lebanon, very sad, nuclear explosion, already being politicized, already being dubbed as a terrorist attack by one side. Please, give me more info on it, guys.
So it's not a terrorist.
Go
ahead, Maria.
I was just going to say it's not a terrorist attack. What happened was it's an ammonium nitrate explosion, which is something that doesn't happen just there. It has happened in North Korea during a railroad construction site. It happened in Texas, in Oklahoma City. This is something that keeps happening. And for some reason, they keep using ammonium nitrate. Kills people every time. Every time.
So, but that is nuclear, is it? That's a nuclear explosion? Because it was like a cloud mushroom. That's all I know. I saw that.
Yeah. So from what I've read and I've seen, they basically house fireworks in that warehouse. And when you hit us up on the group chat the other day, I'm like, okay, I'll look at this later. But then it started going viral. I started seeing the people started recording from buildings. And it looked like a nuclear bombing, to see that fire just going up and then to see that cloud, that was something that we probably never seen, like in that magnitude. So it was scary as hell because you had people recording it from buildings. Then you had more videos coming out, people recording it from the street. And you just saw the impact of how crazy it was. And the death toll itself is already up to 135 people, and over 300,000 people have already suffered from damage to their homes. So
that's not a low count, but that's way lower than I expected with that kind of explosion. And especially, and you're right, and even with the 3,000, they're very heavily affected. I saw, again, I don't know the details too much of the actual explosion, but more of the aftermath. I've seen videos of surgeons using their cell phones as lights in order to operate on someone. And it is very sad. And so we're not a political podcast. We have been integrating politics into our podcast. So we don't have like regular people, like all the links on where to help, but we will provide that on our post, on our Instagram post when we debut the episode. So look out for that. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with Beirut. Always, Lebanon is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people. I've had friends from there, and my thoughts and prayers are with them. Even from an agnostic, what do you know? I like to throw those prayers out there too. Anyway, dissolve the NRA. Wayne LaPierre and the New York versus New York. We love to do versus. The New York Attorney General is getting racketeering, all types of criminal charges against the NRA. And the NRA was kind of like on thin ice anyway with funding. The funding has gone down tremendously. Whether you are a member of the society, whether you're a member of the NRA, it's been going down. And not a lot of people have had their belief in it. You don't have to be a member of it to own a gun. You don't have to register them to be licensed to have a gun. It's just a membership. It's just like, being like a Harley Davidson biker association. There was all types of people. Tom Selleck, Charlton Heston used to lead it as a president and shit. And now we have Juan LaPierre, and he's a crook. Oscar, tell us how much he was a crook.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. This guy has spent over $500,000 on 8 trips to the Bahamas in just 3 years, it's crazy. And then on top of that, he also has luxurious cars, and it's just sick. If somebody who's in charge and he is doing this, embezzling money. I mean, we know people that are corrupt exist in real life, but it's just like, what the hell's going on,
I feel you. So hopefully this leads to more gun legislation, because the biggest proponent on it is the NRA. We've talked about it before. The Black Panthers, when they tried to protect Black communities from the KKK and from the police, they were the president of the NRA. Tried to lead legislation against semi-automatic weapons, because those were the weapons that they used to march on the White House lawn, on the Capitol building. So it seems like whenever a minority or any community tries to arm themselves, they're not about it. But anytime they're about like a white community, anybody with like tiki torches from like North Carolina or something like that, or Virginia, they're all about it. So it's about time the lobbyist group got taken down. So let's get into our entertainment topics. What the fuck did I hear? All right, blame it on DaBaby. And we're big fan. Well, I'm a big fan of DaBaby. I love all of his songs. I love all of his albums, Kirk, all that good stuff. So earlier in the year, I believe April, Blame It on DaBaby came out. And now he has Deluxe, and he has new songs on it. And he's always a popular feature on a lot of people's rap songs. I think he's been on some techno and shit like that, too. Do you like DaBaby, Oscar? Does anybody like DaBaby on here?
Hey, man, I started writing DaBaby wave as soon as Jeanette told me. As soon as Jeanette got me into that, I started liking it. And at first, I'm one of those old school rap heads that is like, okay, I don't like this.
You really are. You really are.
But then behind closed doors, I'm like, okay, this is not that bad.
I know. I used to be like that with Lil Yachty, and I used to be like that with Lil Uzi Vert. I'm like, oh, this. Hey, what up, Ava? What's going on, girl?
Oh, hi.
This is Oscar's daughter. They're upstate for a wedding. They've got Ava's a thief. She stole Tommy's sword, and Tommy told me about that. By the way, he's getting an ADT system because of that. He didn't think that he had to. He didn't think in his gated community he had to do that, but yeah.
Girls can be warriors too.
That's true. That's a cool sword. So then we have Such Pretty Forks in the Road, Alanis Morissette. She is one of the first signees by Madonna. Madonna has Maverick Records. And so Lenny Kravitz back in the, I think like the late 90s, Alanis Morissette came to be. And she's Canadian. She's one, before that, there was like the Cranberries and stuff like that. So there wasn't that many Canadian artists. So Alanis Morissette pretty much opened the doors for that. So we have Ironic, Hand in My Pocket, You Live, You Learn, You Ought to Know. Jagged Little Pill was a huge success. As a matter of fact, she had a Broadway musical going on about it. And it kind of like brought the elevation of that album. And then she ended up doing a tour just on that album, just because of the success of the play. So big up to her. She has a new album, Such Pretty Forks in the Road, again. And now we have a new single by one of my favorite artists. I've talked about it before while I was by myself on the show. Peaches. Like I said, she was on the Mean Girls soundtrack. She's been on the Jackass soundtrack. She has a new song, Solid Gold, Easy Action. She's the same person who made Fuck the Pain Away. You should go listen. Yeah, man. Yeah, Jackass. Like I said, that was the song in Jackass with Johnny
Knoxville. I didn't know that was her, but that's a good
her.
song.
That's her. Fuck the Pain Away. Fuck the Pain Away.
That's awesome.
So she's very raunchy, very feminist. When I watched her, she had not three. She had like 12 boobs on her chest, 12 like prosthetic boobs. She's nuts. On one of her albums, she has like hot dogs like all over her face. She does not give a fuck. Like she loves like outlandish imagery and shit like that. I love her. I love people that don't give a fuck. They're the best. So sorry we don't have What the Fuck Did I Play? We had Nintendo news last week, so it's okay. We're gonna jump to
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
What the fuck did I watch?
All right. So I watched on video on demand a French film, and it was called A Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And so I'm not going to do like Oscar. I'm not going to tell you the whole fucking story. I'm not going to.
I noticed that.
I'm not going to tell you Todd McFarlane's whole bio. Right, Harry? We got like the whole bio on
it's
Todd.
like you didn't have to watch the documentary at all. He got it right there for you.
You don't.
It's like a bridge for Dragon Ball Z. There you go.
Right. And he didn't even tell us it was on Sci-Fi. He didn't even get to that part. He was just so excited to tell us about his Marvel history and shit. But anyway, my bad. But we enjoyed it. We love Oscar. We love his takes. We love what he watches when he tells us, at least. So Portrait of a Lady on Fire. It's a French film. I do not know the actresses. I will know them. I should know them. But it was a beautiful film, actually. It's about this artist. And she's drawing a picture of this person that doesn't want their picture being drawn. And she actually, through a big, like whatever, all types of things happen. And this spontaneous moment gets this imagery that pretty much gets the title for you. So there you go. Then we have Greyhound on Apple TV Plus. That is Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, I believe, please don't quote me on this. He filmed in New Zealand, and that's where he got the COVID. But with him and Rita Wilson, his wife, yes. And from what I heard, from what I saw in publications, he was very disappointed that, and you could tell, by the way, if you see this movie, it was supposed to be in theaters. The special effects are almost up to par with Dunkirk.
Wow.
I know. And that's saying a lot because Dunkirk was legendary. Oh, he was in Australia. Thank you, Harry. That's right. I'm not always right. I'm usually wrong. No, I'm joking. But this is an entertainment podcast. We're not Politico. We're not PolitiFact. So go fuck yourself anyway. But anyway, Greyhound is about this captain that made his first maiden voyage during 1942 during World War II. And basically, the U ships from Germany were taking out their allies, Britain and Canada, and surrounding them. And he had a very young crew because in 1942, the draft was enacted. And so a lot of people, even including our family, I told you Harry and I are cousins. A lot of our family lied to get into the war. They lied about their age. Yeah, they lied about their age because they were too young. And that was very common. And so they made that a point in the movie, and you just see that they're fucked pretty much. So whatever happens at the end happens, obviously in history, but it doesn't look good. So it takes a lot of strength. And, Tom Hanks is in a lot of war movies and a lot of World War II movies. But you know what I like about him? He doesn't glorify it. He shows the really ugly parts about it. And he doesn't say to himself, like, yeah, let's go back. Let's go, like, fight another country. No, it's usually the very, very, like, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
But all those movies that he's a part of, even the movie the series that he produced on HBO, Band of Brothers, it's always, like, showing the really gritty parts, like, let's not do this again.
Yeah. The grittiness of his acting.
What were you saying, guys?
Go ahead, Maria.
Even in
No, don't be.
In Green Mile, like, that's not about war, but it's about prison, and he even shows like the emotional stress that you have to go through to be a prison guard. Like, when you think of a prison guard, it's just, these people that might not care, and it's the power trip and all these things. But if you're like a compassionate person or just a normal human being and you have to be put in a position like that, it's hard. So you're right, like, all of his movies, no matter what they're about, he has a movie with, like, about HIV/AIDS, like, he always is on point. Yeah, exactly, on point about, like, the struggles of just being a person.
Denzel Washington, such a great movie. I think 1991, so good, such a great, one of their best movies, both of them. Totally agree with you. He's the man. Tom Hanks is great. You'll love Greyhound, guys, if you get onto Apple TV Plus, if you steal somebody's login, whatever, who knows. It's very good. It's very worth it. If you get on torrent, I don't care. I'm not in the movie business like that, so I'm sure people torrent my.
This is actually one of the movies.
My shit for free all the time.
This is actually one of the ones that I've been looking forward to torrenting, just because Apple TV, it's great. I get it. But am I really going to pay for another subscription? Maybe not. I know they're gonna have it, but I do know that he kills it in every movie. And you said it perfectly, Maria. He brings out the best in every role, and he shows a side that we don't think about as much, in that situation. Especially that the Green Mile movie is one of my favorites that he's ever made.
Yeah, and that's a Stephen King book, by the way.
Yep,
great book. Okay, so then we have an American Pickle. Seth Rogen, that's another straight to streaming that is on HBO Max. Harry just got HBO Max. Welcome to the HBO Max crew. So did
free,
and that's right. And Harry reviewed the Fire Show from last week from Crunchyroll. Thank you for that. That was great. It actually looked cool in the graphic too. Like when I was I was like, I wasn't really interested in the show like that.
The sound effects in that show, it's the visuals with the fire is dope.
That's right. Look at that. You sound excited now. Last week you didn't really sound that excited. So like I wasn't really excited. So then I saw the visuals like, oh yeah, this looks actually pretty cool.
I'm actually all caught up on the show.
There we go. So let's be excited about what we talk about, guys. So American Pickle, again, Seth Rogen. I forgot what the actress's name from Succession. She is British. She's got the red hair. He is in I believe, Soviet Union town, 1919. And he kills rats inside of a pickle factory, and he falls into a vat of the pickle juice, and it preserves him until modern day. And these kids find him, and it gets weird after that.
What the hell?
Leave it to communism. Exactly. Leave it to communism to give people the worst jobs on the planet.
And he actually was in the news recently. Oh, Sarah Snook. Thank you, Harry. And yes, she's awesome on Succession. By the way, Succession is amazing. One of my favorite shows ever, actually. It's amazing. Will Ferrell and Adam McKay produce it. And it's supposed to be a serious show, but it's not. You think it is, but because they produce it, outrageously funny.
Oh,
so good. And she's so hot, by the way. Sorry that we have a lady on the show, but
women are allowed to be hot.
This is true, but it's just true. I was going to talk about her back end, though, her posterior. So I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that.
Does she have a lot of backstory? Is that?
She does. She has a lot of backstory. I like that. That's right. Backstage backstory. I like that. Good.
Okay.
All right. So watch Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Greyhound on Apple TV, American Pickle on HBO Max.
Let me just say something.
Yeah.
Any show that happens in like the early 1900s in Soviet Russia is bound to be interesting. It was a very interesting time, guys. If you guys are history buffs, it's quite an interesting time. Post-Russian Revolution, all the commies took over,
She's been.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you guys are history buffs and you're into anything about Soviet Union, the early 1900s is a great setting for any show. So. And
Seth Rogen actually got in trouble recently. He is the Jewish variety. Yeah, he gets in trouble all the time. Not like trouble. It's like the cancel police. Like, and he doesn't let people cancel him. So I'm just saying, like, he was Rogen.
Especially now what he's doing with Black Lives Matter. Every time someone says all lives matter on his post, he says "fuck you" and that's it.
He does. But like I said, that's why I segued to he's the Jewish variety, because he said somewhere on Twitter, I believe, or in an interview, why does Israel exist? And whatever side of the fence you are with that, that's never good to say on TV.
Oh God,
that's never good to say in public. So. It's a good thing he came out with this movie, so hopefully that'll get rid of the taste out of that. Get rid of the bad taste of that mouth. It's always good PR to just come out with some new content.
It gives you a reason to go watch the movie now. It's like he was talking shit. Now what is this about?
Right? He probably knew. He probably was like, I love Israel, but let's get some clickbait out there.
Let's add a little spice.
Exactly. So Mulan is now going to be released in September. We have talked about it on the show before. I love Mulan. Mulan was great. I'm glad that they got rid of, even though I love Eddie Murphy, I'm glad that they made it more about the historical reference of the movie. So we had to get rid of Mushu pork. Sorry. It's a Muslim movie now. The Mongols, all that good stuff. But what do you guys think? Are you going to? We talked about it in the pre-meeting. You have a Disney Plus subscription. If you have it, will you buy the $30 fee to watch this movie as well?
Hey, you can take my money. Go ahead, Maria.
Remind us, why is $30 worth it to watch Mulan?
So Disney. They run the same model as everybody in Hollywood. They're very top heavy. We talked about this last episode. They at least needed to recoup $800 million for this movie in order to fund other movies. That's how it works. In other countries, like in France and like Belgium, it's like a very quote unquote socialist system. They put a tax on every ticket and it goes into a pool that no matter what major publication, studio, whatever, production, you're able to go into that pool and use it to fund your movie. Most of the time, obviously, the big titles in Europe, they're not dicks. They're like they leave it for the small. That's not how it works here. Over here, just like the music industry, they rely on the big Beyonce's album so that they can fund the indie projects. So if her album does shitty, that actually means they greenlight less albums. And the same thing with Mulan. The Disney movies, the lower tier movies that are going to come out, whatever it is, or even projects that are going to be like on the Disney Channel, whatever. And they're losing a lot of money because of the parks being closed. That was actually their number one revenue. So they have done a very good job of repivoting to the streaming and shit like that, and like doing that $30 thing. And that's actually smart because they lost a lot of money with that. That they really relied on that being in theaters. And again, it funds other projects. Go ahead, Oscar. Sorry.
Yeah, and the $30 price tag I think it's perfect. It's fine. This is a movie that I think was supposed to come out in April. And not only that, they're trying to recoup the $200 million production budget that they had. And that's just their production budget, but they also had another $100 million marketing budget. So they're bleeding money. And even though, all these comic book movies that we've seen throughout the years, even though they reach $1 billion, they still have to keep funding other projects and other parts of the park that they're building on. So I get it. Look, we're in the middle of a pandemic. You give me Mulan for $30. Hey, that's awesome. I get to watch it in the comfort of my own home. And we don't, you go to the movies now for a family of four. That's almost $80, $60, popcorn and the whole works. And not only that, Disney Plus is actually one, to me, I've been telling you guys this, they're one of the best in terms of 4K, but they are also on top of their game with Dolby Atmos. They have amazing sound quality. I've been rewatching a couple of movies just to test out my new soundbar, my new Dolby Atmos soundbar. You know me, Vince. I love my technology.
You do.
So if I can get something, he said name drop. If I can get my if I can get my value's worth for everything that we're paying for, it's perfect. And I'm actually really stoked because the girls love this movie.
I'm not stoked to pay $30, but I agree with you, and I love the point that you made with the bargain. It is a bargain, especially for a family.
This is why Disney is family oriented.
Yeah, and people love the brand enough, and people love Mulan enough that they'll do it, and they pick the right movie, even though like they're doing to recoup. But they knew like if this was going to be a one-off, or if people were going to do this for a movie, it was going to be for this one. Yeah, and to be honest, they probably would have did for Hamilton. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Mulan's probably a great movie to release right now, because it seems like the last few years there's been a lot of like feministic movies. There's a lot of movies that have been remade, but with women only. For example, Ocean's 8, based off of Ocean's 11, 12, 13, or Hustle, based off of the amazing Dirty Rotten Scoundrels from the 80s. Hustle was not good. Do not watch that movie.
I actually disagree. I love that movie. That's a good movie.
Oh my God. Watch Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Watch the original. And you'll see
I like the original too, but...
Okay.
Gotcha.
Anyways, I was a little disappointed, but it's a good time to release something like this. It's a popular topic right now, so and I think it'll do good.
Nice.
Spend the $30,
and to show a positive light on the Asian community.
That's true. That's true. Very true, actually. And yet, like we said before in the pre-meeting, they're going to. Oh no, not even the pre-meeting. I said it to introduce. They're going back to the roots of the story. So they've gotten around a lot of especially the racist element. Like I said, the Mushu pork. That's no good. That was not in the actual tale. So they're getting rid of that, and they're making it more of a focus of like the Joan of Arc kind of aspect to it. So I'm happy about that. I'm glad Maria brought that up.
Yeah, and a lot of this also has to do with Disney putting these movies into real life. You can't really do that with these movies because I'll give you an example. Aladdin, you had Noah Boo, you had certain characters you can't recreate in this, even though you could make them animated.
It looked too corny and tacky.
Yeah, you just can't work that in there. So I was disappointed that we wouldn't get that character because it was one of those great staples. But hey, it doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah, word.
I felt the same way. Sorry, I felt the same way about.
You guys gotta let me wrap up. You guys keep going.
How long is the show? 40 minutes. I felt the same way about the Joker. Like they brought in all these actual topics around mental health and like psychopaths and making it a real story that you can somewhat relate with, and like our government today relating to, of course it was a exaggerated version of what's going on now, but like you can relate it to what's going on now in government. So I felt the same way with the Joker. It's like a comic book story, like it's the Joker, Batman and Joker, but they made it like very relatable.
Yeah,
nice. All right, so HBO Max has Harley Quinn show. They have the new DC Comics as part of their archive and their catalog. I actually wanted to watch it while it was on the DC Comics streaming app that Harry had. He doesn't have it anymore, but it's okay. It kind of dissolved anyway, and now it is a part of the package at HBO Max. Tell us about Harley Quinn.
So I fucking love this show because when I first started watching it, I actually started watching it on the DC app, but eventually I'm like, okay, my free subscription is done. I'm not paying for this. But first you have Haley Kuko from a Big Bang Theory.
That's right.
She stars the voice. Another fun fact, when we went to go see
John Ritter show that she was on too, that she got famous before that. I forgot. Whatever. My bad. Keep going.
So yeah, and a fun fact, Kim and Ava actually got to meet her when we went to go see Frozen. They ran into her. She was really nice. Was able to take a picture. But aside from that, this is not a show for kids. I started watching this in front of Ava, and I did not know how.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I did not know how grown up it was going to be.
Who's the roommate? It's Poison Ivy, right? Like that's her roommate or something.
And they do so many great jokes. They do include Batman later on, but it's funny as hell. It's for grown ups, and it's not your average show. If you guys have any sense of humor of making fun of the DC universe, whether they make fun of Batman and anybody else, it's a great show. You're gonna love it. It's up to the second season, and they include everybody in the Batman Rogue catalog. So it's a fun show.
Harry, did you get a chance to watch it while you had the subscription?
Harley Quinn, no, but I saw Doom Patrol when I had a subscription. The second season came out.
All right, so
how dare you? She's a nice lady.
What the fuck did she say?
All right, now we got to the best part of the fucking show. So on this episode, as I put the mic like all the way up in my nose, so on this episode we have, I don't know, feeling kind of cute. Might delete later. If you have seen this on your story and you have not grabbed a gun and shot this person, good for you. Congratulations, because I almost did it a few times. I don't get it. I don't understand. People like it doesn't matter. I know it's supposed to be really generational, but I've actually seen many people do it. It doesn't, like, the age range doesn't matter for me. I've seen 40-year-olds do it. Go like,
and
might
hey,
delete later.
Like I was telling you guys, I got a 15-year-old kid. She's always.
Absolutely.
I see her post this sometimes. I see my nephew post this, and it's that generation where they're doing certain things, and we're older. Even though we're only in our mid-30s, we don't get this. It's weird, and I have over 3,000 posts on my Instagram. She has like 5. That's another thing I've noticed where they'll post something and they'll say "might delete later," and then they'll end up archiving it. Like they're trying to show less, which I think it's weird because I actually like my timeline.
Afraid to be cool? What are you, afraid to be cool? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're sounding like a parent now, though. Now you know how your parents felt when you were like in Ninja Turtles.
3,000 posts.
30,000 posts.
I've actually had Instagram since 2012 when it first began. So
same.
And
I think it's a little different, Harry. They're like, the grown-ups are like using the app more than the kids nowadays. Like, I see more women, like I see like more moms on TikTok than I actually see kids. But anyway, let's get on.
No, I was going to mention on Hinge.
Tell me.
Hinge, one of the.
That's right. Yes, we need to hear that.
So Hinge is a dating app, an online dating app. For you singles out there. And one of the prompts is I feel cute, might delete later, and a lot of people are using it, and I think it's a fairly new prompt. Like, I think once Corona started, Hinge and other dating apps, they had to find solutions, and I think that was one of them, like finding these interesting prompts, and this seems to be the trend lately. And a lot of people, like, there's a lot of dudes out there doing it, and they're not, they're in their late 20s, mid 20s, not wow. Teens. So,
well, speaking of which, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Speaking of which, Find Love Live, that's how I got on there. Hinge, I swiped right on a casting producer. And then, fun fact, we've talked about it on the show before, our graphic designer, that's how we met. We met on freaking Happen. The GPS app. That's right. We met on an app where it's like very creepy, actually. It tells like the exact like distance you are from someone that you had passed by. Yeah, wow. I don't even think it exists anymore, but like I'm pretty sure like Grindr like finally like phased that out. Like, I could find this dick right now. Like but, it didn't work out, obviously, but it worked out professionally. Like, we
stayed in touch.
We spent 2 seasons creating beautiful artwork for the and now Oscar has the blueprint of success, and he's carrying on the torch, and we're very happy. We're very happy, Maria. We're very happy with Oscar.
The latest covers have been pretty cool. I like a lot of the ideas, executions. Good job.
Means a lot coming from you. Mm-hmm. Means a lot. So let's get on to your article. Medium. Actually, tell us some of your tags. Tell us more about you. Tell us more about what you do.
So I started writing a little more often once Corona started because I was on a furlough period from work, and
common with this crew.
Yeah, right. Like, so, but okay, so it gives you a chance to do things that you've always wanted to do, but more often. And writing was a thing for me because I love talking. Like, I just talk, and it's not really healthy for my relationships or my friendships.
Oh wow! Damn.
Well, because you have to learn how to listen as well, and that's like a skill I think everyone should try to improve on. So that's why I write, and I have a lot to say, so writing's a good outlet. And when the whole, all the protests started for the BLM movement, I was thinking, how can I contribute? Like, a lot of people are contributing, a lot of people are posting political things. That's not really me. And one thing for me is learning how to have a conversation that that is productive and healthy, and people listen to each other. And this is one of those things that are really difficult to talk to, really difficult to talk about, especially with people who you think won't listen to you, such as your parents. Like, a lot of people my age, I'm sure all ages, have a hard time talking to their parents, especially about difficult things such as racism. And I come from a family, my mom is from she grew up in communist Russia. And, you know, if you know anything about Russians, they're not the most open.
A little bit.
So,
just the fake news.
Yeah. So a lot of it is stereotypes. But one thing is, you know, Russians aren't...
Solanoya. No, I'm going. Go.
So over the years, she has said a few things that have made me really angry, but we've created a relationship where we can actually openly talk, and that was based off of me just telling my mom, like, can we sit down and talk about our problems? And ever since we had that first conversation, now to this point, I'm able to just talk to her about racism. And I feel like so long story short, I asked a few people of their experiences and advice, one being Vinson. This is why I'm on the show now. And Vinson shares his story with his white racist grandma, right?
Irish Catholic.
Irish Catholic. Yeah, it's another word for racist, but no, she's not racist.
But
she's like...
over the years, that's the point. Like, back in the day, she was, you know, hardcore. Now she's improved a lot, and you guys can have open conversations. And I thank you so much for your input and your story and sharing your advice with everyone else.
She's stayed with us a few times recently during this corona, and that's where the inspiration of this interview came from. She hit me at a time where, like, I was in close quarters with her anyway, so we were very observant of each other. And there was one conversation we had, the last conversation we had actually before she went home, was how come I'm not more proud of my white side just as much as my black? And I was like, I didn't know that there was a white side like that. Like, I know I say I'm black and white, but, like, black is like a term in America. Like, you know, it's obviously supposed to be African American, but white, like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I, like, do I celebrate Irish history? Do I like Maria with hers, Russian history? Like, white could be many things, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like when you say that, like, you're celebrating whiteness, it's more of like a superiority, like it has been in history. Yeah. And we've touched on that in the article.
Yeah, as opposed to celebrating, like, Irish, what'd you say, Irish Catholic?
All of them, whatever. Yeah. There's all types of whatever you think is Caucasian. And even there's some Jewish people that, like, you know, play it off as Caucasian as well. No, I hear you. We do. I don't think it'll kick us off that hard. But anyway.
But in the article, we talk about your mom's story, marrying your dad, and how both sides of the family weren't too keen on it. There was no big wedding. And then over time, because you spoke out, because it's in your personality to speak out, you feel that it's helped your grandma progress as a person and the rest of your family as well.
A little bit. She, even after the article, we've had conversations, and even that particular exchange, she has as much as she can. She's 78, but there's some things, like, when she asks questions, she's not really asking questions to learn. She's more like trying to gain ammunition to poke holes at you. Ooh. So especially, like, I'm trying to, like, live more plant-based. Like, she'll ask, like, a million questions about it, and you're thinking that she's trying to learn about it. No, she'll ask them again later, and you're just like, hold up, I just answered these before. No, she's trying to catch you off guard. She's trying to be like, see, like, you don't really believe in that, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, you're not really. And she even does that with, like, when we talk about the race and stuff like that. She'll, like, if she gets frustrated, we talked about, and it doesn't span just the race, by the way. We were talking about they and their and stuff like that. And even if you don't get it, we admitted it, me and my mother, we were like, we don't get it, but we respect people. So if, like, someone says they want to be called that, it doesn't take that much time to be like, cool, you're you're there, you're here, you're somewhere else. I don't know. I don't care. I'll do it. It doesn't take that much time. She got really frustrated. She was just like, enough is enough. Wow. Enough is enough for, like, enough is enough for who? Like, I don't get, like, who are you talking to?
You can only expect so much from someone who's conditions. That's one thing that we talked about.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, so before I wrote the article, Vincent and I talked for like 2 hours about all of this. Like, it was the longest conversation I had about it. Thank you, Vincent, so much. Like, you dedicated so much time to this, and I couldn't have asked a better person to talk to about this.
You ain't the only one who likes to talk.
but I think one of our points is that people do get conditions. Like, we even went into the topic of how women in the early 1900s, there was this time where women wanted to get hit by their boyfriends. It was
Mad Men, they still do. No, I'm joking.
So the article basically goes through a few steps. It's basically a guide that will help you talk to your family about racism, going from, understanding your own opinions about it, to creating a space with the person you're talking to learning how to control, what you're feeling and how to go about it. And if all else fails, you can just watch movies like Green Mile or Self-Made or Seaberg, anything that will give the other person a perspective, and vice versa.
Self-Made, you cut off mad at that title. CJ Walker, that's a great miniseries by LeBron James that we watched. Yes, awesome, great one.
Yeah,
no worries.
CJ Walker. Spencer. Amazing story.
Yes.
And all these stories will give the other person some perspective on history, and that's what I did with my mom. And
it's a good way, by the way, and it's non-aggressive. Like it's a great way to bring the medium to her and to give my grandmother. Part of the thing that she can't handle is like when we were watching The Five Bloods, very aggressive movie, and like a lot of bloodshed, blah, blah, blah. Even though it had like a great message behind it, it's hard to show a 78-year-old that. So like you said, like those good movies, a little feel good, maybe not like The Help where they're like whitewashing, but like something like Mad and CJ Walker, especially Black produced by LeBron James, you're going to get that experience and you're not going to get it like jammed down your throat. Pause.
Hidden Figures is good too.
It's an amazing movie, Harry. Yep. Such a great movie. Quality all around. The acting, everybody. Everybody was so good in that movie.
Yeah, so good, so good. And there's moments where you're like, oh my, holy shit, I had no idea.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and yeah, the mathematicians involved, named after airports and stuff like that. Such an amazing film. Great job mentioning that. All right, cool. Let's start to wrap up. You made some really good points with the movies. Thank you for that list. Actually, do you have more? Do you have any more before we go?
I was just going to say that I don't just share my own experience. I share a lot of my friends' experiences and stories and advice. So it gives a really well-rounded view and guide on the topic. So I just hope it helps. That's all I really want, So read it if you're interested. On Instagram, I have a shorter guide that's just like a couple of slides and that's it. So thank you so much for having me and sharing my article.
Yes, and forgive us. This is a quick program. We're only around 40 minutes. We have a lot of Gen Z attention spans out there.
It's fine.
But we enjoy your content. Everybody that's been a part of season 1 and 2 has enjoyed your content. We still look back on it. We still love it. We love your new stuff. We love your animation on Instagram. And that's what we're going to get to right now, actually. We need you to tell us everywhere you're at, where we need to see you, Maria. We can't get enough of you. Go for it.
So just Instagram at honeypie. It's HON_EPie. I'm going to soon change it to Maria Badasian. I'm going to soon change everything to Maria Badasian with a sick honey pot logo that my friend is drawing.
I like it.
And then on my Medium, I think you can just look up my name and I should pop up. And I guess on your Instagram, there will be a link, right? And then if you go on my Instagram, there's a link to my Medium. So
that's right. And we love to big up people. Big up to Oscar's barber.
Yeah.
He keeps him looking whatever he looks like.
Yeah. Looking like Oscar.
That nice shiny head.
For you designers out there, if you're on Dribble, I'm on there too. So
that's right. And I'm on Drool. No, I'm joking. I'm on. We're on Keep Up NYC. That's on Instagram. We are on Keep Up NY for Twitter. We are on Twitch. I'm on Twitch as well. Oscar's on Twitch. Patreon. Harry set that up for us. We're going to fill that up with subscription content very soon. Facebook, that's the official Keep Up, Shut Up. That's our page right there. stillvinsane on IG. Like she said, Honey Pie on IG. We got Osamalo _art. We got PKMN, Pokemon Stoner on Instagram. Go ahead. You have a question.
And I'm on Hinge.
The teacher lets you. Oh, you're on Hinge.
I'm on
okay.
Hinge. Find me.
That's right. So Maria likes long walks on the beach. She likes to be choked. No, I'm joking. I don't know. But no, she enjoys the swiping of the dating. You know what I'm saying? She likes to ghost people. No, I'm joking. No.
I don't ghost. I do not.
No, I'm
ghost.
joking. No, Maria's a quality. No, I've been on 3 dates. Maria, she's a quality date. You need to go date her. You need to find her on Hinge. Oscar, like he said before, I'm going to be at Find Love Live August 17th.
Yes.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Okay, so like I said, we got John.ttv, Thundercat John with a K. And then we got, I said Harry already, we got Neil. We got the whole crew. You better shut the fuck up.
Listen up.
And keep up.
With Oslamalo.
And stillvinsane. Over and out, homies. Good job, guys.